Good day to all of you out there. I figured you deserved a little water sounds. Sounds really nice anyway. I haven't made videos in a while. It's just not really driven to do it, but I happen to be driven to do one today. And there's always so many subjects that could be talked about, but right now, one that seems to be popular is the good old COVID pandemic, which I don't even really want to talk about that. It's not so much the subject, but the cause of it is what I would really like to talk about today, and that is fear. There's nothing to be afraid of concerning what they've made, what they've generated. The problem was already there before any of this ever started to happen. And that was fear that people already have. They've had it. They've never addressed it. They've never done anything about it. And now it is physically manifesting in the form of a mask on so many people's faces. And I didn't realize how heartbreaking it is until more recently. It was before that it was very aggravating. But then as time goes on and things get to be evaluated, I started to understand the reason why all this is even happening. And it's because people have no true guidance from within themselves. They just follow the world. They follow whatever the media says, whatever the leadership says of this world. And that's the biggest mistake that anybody can make, is to follow this world in any form, because they do not love you. They do not have your best interest in mind, and they definitely are not taking care of you. They could care less if you live or die. But if you're alive, you're wealth in their pocket. The sadness part of this whole deception with the masks and all this COVID nonsense, it started to set in whenever I started to notice that people that I used to think were really strong gave in. They put on the mask, and their fear that was already there the whole time, that they had covered up without the physical manifestation of a mask, that fear finally physically came out. They put the mask on, they gave in, and that was the first time, the first beginnings of seeing how sad this thing really is. I don't go to church. I really don't. I don't get anything out of it. But somebody very close to me and very dear to me wanted to go to church because she wanted to be around that kind of environment, around people who have a similar goal, similar attitudes. And I said I would take her. We did. We went. And it really broke my heart, because it was the church I used to go to, and I seen people there wearing masks in church, which is very, very bad advertisement for God if you're a mask wearer and you say you believe in Him, because God's not about fear. And if you're living in fear, God didn't give that to you, and it does not reflect well at all back to you. Or is it a good representation of Him in your life? It's a good representation of fear. So I went, and there were 3 people out of, say, 12 people. Not a very big church, just a local community type church. And the 3 people that were not wearing the mask was the preacher, his son, and his grandson. And I pretty much knew that they were not about wearing the mask. But all the other people that I seen wearing the mask were people that I've known all my life. They've been going to church longer than I've been alive, and they gave in. And it's heartbreaking, because I'm sure they don't agree. They don't agree that this is a physical manifestation of fear, and this fear is very, very deadly, and it's not over yet. There's still more physical manifestation of this fear to come, and it will. I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared of it, but there's so many people that are still, they're under that spell. One way to go about it is if you read the Bible, if you say you believe in God, even though you're wearing a mask, or you're wearing a mask for whatever reason it is. Oh, they won't let me work if I don't wear a mask. That's a poor excuse. Any excuse to put on that mask is an excuse, and it's a very poor one. It comes back down to where this fear came from, and it's always been there, is that in these people who they claim to know Jesus, they claim to believe in Christ, and they say and profess that Christ lives within them, backfires on them because of the fear. And in the black and white of it, there are mental and spiritual things that you must do that people try to enact on in a physical way towards other humans, which both are very good. But in this case, it's that Christ is within you, whether you believe it or not, whether you agree with it or not. It's a dynamic of this being, this body that you're in, and the spirit that you are that's within this body, and Christ being a component of that being. The difference is whether you are consciously aware of him or if he's just dead. And in the case of what's written, in prison, and he's in prison in here, and 6 different little characteristics of it. He's hungry, he's thirsty, he's naked, he's a stranger, he's sick, and he's in prison. And most people just say, well, I go visit the sick people, and I give food to people, and I give things to drink to people, and they try to reenact this by doing a physical action towards other people. And yeah, that might be a good thing to do, but that is the most important thing to do is within yourself, to go see him, to free him from prison that is your mind, to wake up, to resurrect. And it's how you want to apply it, as to how do you feed him? How do you give him something to drink? How do you give him clothes to wear? Or how do you invite him in when he was a stranger? And if he's sick, the sick part is that it reflects back on you and him, is that while he's within you, it's your mind that's sick, and that in turn, he is bearing right along with your sickness, and therefore he's sick within your mind. But it's all, parabolitic, however you want to say that word. And these things really need to be addressed. Otherwise, fear is going to continue to do its work. And there is a sad, horrible end to letting that fear win. So sure, by all means, do great and wonderful things for your fellow man. You help them, you help yourself. But more importantly than that is, if that prisoner is not released out of the prison of your mind, make that your top priority. Quit trying to do everything elsewhere. You have that top priority to take care of. But of course, nobody's got a gun to your head. No, I'm not telling you what to do, but just offering some of the insight that's been given to me concerning this whole matter that is very much going on in this world today. So, I hope peace finds you. I hope some joy finds you, and I hope fear runs far, far away from you. But it's not going to do it by itself. You're going to have to get up and put some action to it. Mental action, whatever it's going to take. So, hope you're enjoying this day. And until next time, if there's a next time, good day.